Welcome to Distill the Bourbon Podcast. We're back in the turret. I'm Brent. That's Aaron. We have a couple of special guests today because Brian and Chuck just can't be here. It's their loss. We have Cammie, my daughter. Thank you for coming back, Cammie. And we have Chaim Levin, who is the Bourbon Rabbi, one of our favorite guests that we've had. And today we're doing another episode of Drink This, Not That. Okay, how many people have come to bourbon through the beautiful round bottle Blantons? I know it's Aaron's favorite. It's hard to get. It's impossible to get. It's the original single barrel, right? It was a marketing genius idea. It's been one of the most sought after bourbons. How many phone calls, when you worked at Beverage Barn, how many phone calls a day did you get?
Too many.
I
edited that in my head before I said it. Too many.
Well,
but I
kudos
will say,
to Buffalo Trace for the advertising genius that they are.
It really
it's not
is.
just this one. I mean, they do a great job at pushing product.
I will say this. The hustle that Albert Bacon Blanton took to push his product was amazing. If you don't know the story, find it, read it,
Take
whatever.
the Legends Tour at Buffalo Trace.
Yes.
It's worth it.
Yes, 100%.
It's free.
Because you get to figure out how hard he pushed the original single barrel. Original single barrel. And now what are we all, when we all think about bourbon and what we go for, we go for
A Bourbon Rabbi single barrel.
Single barrel.
yes.
Sometimes.
Actually, sorry. Let me just continue to cut you off. You don't need to talk. So you said that everybody comes into bourbon or whiskey in general through Blantons. I actually came to bourbon through Bourbon Rabbi. So just putting that one out there.
Wow.
I appreciate it.
You must have somebody that really loves you that gives you great bourbon.
And then really, really said 5,000 times, you need to try this one. You need to try this one. Try this one. And unfortunately, you were right. I mean, fortunately for you, but.
So you learned from
Just
my
to put
mistake.
this out there, I met her today.
Yes.
So it's not me.
I was hired for marketing purposes.
I was one of those guys. I went to a charity event where they served some Blantons, and I saw that bottle, and I tasted that 90-something proof, 93 in this case, bourbon, and it was easy to drink, and it was, at the time, delicious. And as I learned, as I've evolved, I've left this behind and moved on. It's hard to find this anyway. So instead of this, there are alternatives out there that we're going to recommend that you try. And the first one is going to be Wilderness Trail Bourbon at 100 proof. We've talked about Wilderness Trail a dozen times on this channel. They make amazing, amazing whiskey. They were the innovators in yeast, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
They came with the yeast that would change the flavor profile, that would bring forward all these notes, and now they started distilling a few years ago, and it's really good. And this is available. You can buy this. It's not expensive. How much is it?
$49.99.
Yeah, I mean,
Which one is this?
You can buy a bottle. This is just their straight bourbon, I think.
Yeah.
And it's really good, and it's close in proof to the Blantons, and it's something you can give a new drinker, and it's pretty doggone good. What do you think?
Yeah. I'm drinking this over Blanton's every day.
Well, you drink anything over Blantons every day.
I'm tired of all the phone calls, grenade bottle. What letter do you have on the top of the damn bottle? I don't care what letter it is. I'm just telling you that I drink whiskey because I like it. In case anybody wants to know, this one looks like it might be an S. So if you need an S, come to
I have
Brent's
several
house.
S's, so you can have this one.
I like the
We'll trade this S for 2 bottles of Bourbon Rabbi.
Exactly. So you've never had Blantons because it's not kosher. Anybody can drink Wilderness Trail. What do you think about Wilderness Trail?
Haven't tasted it yet. Give me a second. The nose is actually really, really nice. Does not smell hot at all.
Yeah.
It's got some nice oaky notes, caramel, a little citrus going on. Real smooth.
Good bourbon, right?
Tastes mid-90s. What is it?
It's 100.
It's 100? Wow. I mean, it does not taste 100. Doesn't come off on the palate. Real nice flavors. Coming down just... It's still hanging out. I had it, 15, 20 seconds ago. It's still just hanging out in the chest. It feels great.
Very drinkable, right?
Very, very approachable. Nice flavor. A little chocolatey almost.
There is.
Yes. A little creaminess almost.
Yeah.
I wonder if that has to do with the yeast that they use.
Well, they're the experts. They
Talk
know which
Dr.
one to
Pat.
use to pull out different notes. Cammy, what do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree with it being approachable. I think one of the things that really benefits it for a new whiskey or bourbon drinker is that the nose is very approachable. There's been some that I've nosed and I'm like, I don't really want to drink this, but I'm on camera, so I'm going to. And it's not too hot once you get into it either, but the nose is definitely approachable.
Yeah, the nose is definitely not at 100.
No.
Yeah, it's nice.
Nice bourbon. Now, speaking of nice bourbon, if you don't trust us and you don't want to go to Wilderness Trail, we have a standby here at the Steel Bourbon Podcast that we love. It is Russell's Reserve 10-year. Everybody can get it. It is fairly inexpensive. How much does that bottle cost at
$49.99.
I mean, oh my gosh. As opposed to $200 that you're going to have to pay
Yeah.
on the secondary market to get one of those round bottles. Russell's Reserve, man. Jim Beam product, right? No.
Yes.
Is that
Nope.
right? It's
Wild
turkey. I'm
We
sorry.
were real confident
Lawrenceburg.
about that, yes.
So,
You had me confused for a second.
yeah.
I was like, is it?
Well, you never
You just have
know.
to think about Jimmy signing bottles and
That's
his,
exactly
Well, there's
right.
two
his
Jimmys.
sack.
I mean, I don't know how many times we've talked about that bottle. It wins almost every blind that we have.
Every time.
It's really good, really smooth. Is it 100? Look at the label there.
It 90.
Little less.
90.
Yeah.
Okay. Talking about for newbies, oh my gosh, man. Anybody can drink 90 proof, right?
It's so much better than any bourbon rabbi bourbon I've had in the.
It's so much lower proof than any bourbon rabbit product.
cut
So this is the edit version here.
You can put that in.
And
I'm
we're
not
back.
embarrassed.
No, because I love everything he does.
Me too.
Yeah.
But to the point, they make a really good product.
They make a great product.
You can drink that?
Is this kosher?
Yep.
Hope
So this is it's actually interesting if you want to get into it. I don't know if you want to, you can cut this or not. So within the kosher certification and in the bourbon industry, there are kind of three categories. There's the certified kosher products, which there's
Okay.
over 200 of, and the most extensive list of kosher products is obviously available at bourbonrabbi.com/list.
Yes.
There are products that are specifically non-kosher due to various reasons, which is also available at the same bourbonrabbi.com/list. And there's kind of a middle category, which is products that we don't know that there's any issue, but we don't know of any possible issue with it.
Okay.
So, Maker's Mark, for example, not a certified kosher distillery, but, there's no finishing, so they can't have any non-kosher wines on site. They don't have, abundance of flavors and any of those other things going into it. So we have no reason to think that there's a Maker's Mark product that is not kosher.
Okay.
It's not certified kosher. We don't audit them for kosher, like we do Green River, Heaven Hill, Jim Beam. So there's a whole bunch of certified distilleries that have products that are specifically kosher. Then you have that middle category of products. Wilderness Trail falls in that. It's not specifically kosher, but we don't have any reason at all to assume
Corn, water, rye,
yeast.
you're
That's
okay.
it. Right. So when you get to a category like a Jim Beam, Buffalo Trace, Heaven Hill, which have thousands of ingredients, many thousands of products. Some they have dairy products. So then we don't in kosher you don't mix milk and meat. So if you have a bourbon cream, you can't have that with a meat meal. So if the utensils, the vats that those sit in become dairy, you couldn't have that whiskey that sat in that vat with a meat meal. So you have all those considerations to have. Both Jim Beam and Heaven Hill are both kosher certified distilleries, and the list of those kosher products obviously is available at bourbonrabbi.com/list. But the small distilleries, a Woodford, a Makers, those types of distilleries, Wilderness Trail, that don't have hundreds of ingredients and thousands of products, we assume that those are kosher. I've actually audited Wilderness Trail a few times, and we know that there are no issues at all from a kosher standpoint with wilderness products.
Perfect. What was that website one more time?
bourbonrabbi.com/list for the list, and shop.bourbonrabbi.com to buy the best kosher bourbon.
There are
out
5 amazing offerings from the Bourbon Rabbi, and shop.bourbonrabbi.com.
That's
has all of them.
BOURBONRABBI.com.
And if you order before October 10th, you can get a free honey, which is the best honey you will ever have. I promise you. If you don't agree, I'll buy it for you. Now,
You heard it here first.
yes, Russell's 10. I've asked you a dozen times to give me a nose and a taste profile. What do you think?
It's better than any Blantons I've ever nosed or ever tasted.
Well, yeah, but you don't like Blantons, so
Smells better than dirt.
It's just so good. It's bourbon. It's everything you wanted in a bourbon.
it's available. It's
It's
cheap.
$49.99.
At 10-year,
Yes.
10
an
years.
available, easy to get, non-expensive product at 10-year.
Yeah.
I never would have guessed.
Better
the price.
than Eagle Rare.
Oh, yes.
Better than McKenna 10 year.
Yes.
Way, way better than Calumet 10 year.
Funny is,
Yes.
I used to say Henry McKenna 10-year was the most
Overrated.
the most underrated bourbon
Yes.
back in from 05 to 12, 13
When
Yeah,
they got
it was
the
my
award-
choice for
until
a while.
they got the award.
When they got the award, it went
Then,
off.
then again, they switched.
Yes.
But I would say that's the most underrated bourbon. It's available $25, $26. Go get it.
Oh,
100
no, fuck
proof,
that.
bottled
It's
and bombed.
$76.99.
Yeah.
Then they had to go win an award. What? Why? Ruined everything.
It
Yes.
ruined everything.
It was
Yes.
so good.
Is there a
It's
better?
still good, but now it's just four
Is there
times
a
the
better
price.
10 year than Russell Reserve?
No, I don't
know.
have one.
No.
Way better than Van Winkle.
It's yes, and Eagle Rare, and Henry McKenna, and
And all
And-
those. Yes.
This might be the one thing we've ever agreed about.
What's funny is I'm nosing
Yeah.
it now, and
Yeah.
I'm looking at some of the stuff up here, and I'm like,
Yes.
yeah, it's got a little banana note from that.
All Wild Turkey has a little banana note, right?
yeah.
But yeah,
In various degrees.
but yeah, for a 10-year-old product under $50, I mean, you can't go wrong.
Well, there you go. Don't buy Blantons. I mean, give it away as a gift. Buy it when you can, when you get it at actual MSRP. Don't pay extra for it. But goodness gracious, Wilderness Trail, Russell Reserve 10-year, much better options for you. And with that said, please drink responsibly.
Now, what's interesting is this week on Unicorn Auctions, they had Bourbon Rabbi available for purchase on the auction.
Bourbon on Unicorn Auctions.
Yeah,
they did?
I made it to secondary, right?
No,
That's
you didn't.
Oh, yeah.
Hell
Check it
yeah!
out.
High five.
UnicornAuctions.com. You don't have to buy it there. You can buy it at shop.bourbonrabbi.com for like $18 less. This is
You
not
got on
exclusive.
unicorns.
Yeah. We're on unicorn now. So this is how I know I've
What
made
is
it.
it?
in
What is
life.
it? What is
Yeah.
it? What is what's on unicorn?
You got to check Unicorn Auctions to check it out to find out what it's at.
So
It's an auction, so it keeps changing.
bonus
But it's
content.
silly that it's there. It's available easily. We're in Kentucky, Tennessee, New York, New Jersey, Florida, Georgia, Texas, and online in 45 states. So yeah, check it out, shop.bourbonriot.com. But aside from that, I mean, for a 10-year-old, under $50, that's phenomenal.
So yeah. So in case you don't know, my favorite bourbon is Bourbon Rabbi, and whether it's the 115, the original bourbon, or the honey, or the Cabernet,
The honey is the
or
right answer.
The honey is the right answer. The cinnamon, or my absolute favorite, coming in at 126.
125.
125 proof,
Double oak.
the double oak. Oh my God! If you like bourbon, and you're not drinking the Bourbon Rabbi 125 double oaked,
You're doing yourself a
yes.
disfavor.
Is this
Oh my
also
gosh.
I made
available
up that
at
word.
shop.bourbonrabbi.com?
shop.bourbon.com. And if you order,
I don't have to say it anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
if you order
Cue it.
before October the 10th, you're going to get an extra
Free honey.
free honey, and let me tell you, best honey on the planet.
That's shop.bourbonrabbi.com.
That's our official new sign off.
And as we don't have an official affiliation with the Bourbon Rabbi, we just like it a lot. So with that said, please drink responsibly.